Welcome and thank you for joining me, Miss Trott, once again for Math and Science for Young Children. In each of our sessions, we will be reviewing math, science, and early childhood concepts. Our goals for this session are to understand the importance of pattern concepts as foundational for all mathematical understanding, recognizing types of patterns most accessible to young children, using science process skills to investigate seeds, and generate ideas for children to explore and learn about seeds and plants in ongoing ways. Make sure you download the note sheet to go along with this video and stick around as we learn more about math and science for young children. When we're teaching math and science concepts, we want to be centered on a strength-based approach. This means that it is family-centered, it values the capabilities, skills, knowledge, potentials of individuals, families, and communities. It focuses on the assets and shared goals instead of deficits and obstacles, and it builds on opportunities that already exist. The strength-based approach will help children enjoy learning. Our math focus this week is patterns. A pattern constitutes a predictable sequence of objects or numbers in which all of the members are related with each other by a specific rule or rules. Children innately look for patterns in their worlds. Since patterns are all around us, there are plenty of opportunities to explore patterns every day with children, through everyday play experiences, as well as through more structured math activities. Patterns exist in many forms. Visual patterns, those we see in common objects like buildings and in nature. Auditory patterns are those that we can hear in musical rhythms, bird songs, clocks ticking, sounds of footsteps. Movement patterns are those found in movement like dancing and walking. Temporal patterns include time, such as minutes, hours, days of the week, and seasons. Numerical patterns are those found in the sequence of odd and even numbers, as they exist in their progression of square numbers and in the predictability of base 10 number system, as seen in a hundreds chart. Patterns are predictable and follow a specific rule, so there can be repeating patterns or growing patterns. Repeating patterns always have a unit of repetition. An example might be day, night, day, night, day, night. Also, the school week. 5 days of school, 2 days off. 5 days of school, 2 days off. Children can also work with growing patterns. Growing patterns increase by a constant amount. These are patterns that grow in a consistent amount. The most basic is our counting system. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The pattern is +1. There's a specific pattern found in nature called the Fibonacci sequence. It appears in biological settings, such as branching in trees, petals on a flower, pine cones. While this isn't a pattern concept we're going to be explaining to young children, it is really interesting to note that patterns are a natural phenomena. Like with our other concepts, patterns have big ideas. The first are that patterns are sequences governed by a rule. Next, identifying the rule brings predictability and allows us to make generalizations. Knowing the rule of a pattern allows one to predict what's next. Once children identify the rule, they can extend the pattern. However, children can sometimes copy a pattern without identifying its rule. The third is that the same pattern can be found in many different structures. This understanding develops over time and enables children to see connections and think about their relationship apart from their physical form. In this session, you'll be completing an exemplar activity to go along with life science, discovering seeds. Children will observe different fruits and look inside to find seeds. They compare and contrast seeds that they find and taste the fruits that are cut open. They record their observations through drawing what they see. The underlying science concepts for discovering seeds is that fruits have seeds, seeds differ in size, shape, color, and texture, and there are many different types of seeds that grow into different kinds of fruits. Review your exemplar activity guide in all of the areas. Engage, explore, and reflect. After completing the activities, ask yourself questions like, what did you notice about the seeds? Are they all the same? How are they different? Which was your favorite and why? Also expand your knowledge on seeds by choosing one of the ideas for further exploration to complete. A little bit of background information on seeds is that seeds contain the embryo of a plant and are how most plants reproduce. The process of germination is when the embryo develops into a seedling. In order for most seeds to sprout, they need water, sunlight, and soil rich in nutrients. Dependent upon the type of plant, seeds may be dispersed away from the parent plant in many ways, including by wind, water, and by other animals. There is a difference between the common definition of fruits and vegetables and the scientific definitions of those. Scientifically, the fruit is the seed-bearing part of a plant. Vegetables, on the other hand, are the other part of the plant: stems, leaves, and roots. Asparagus, for example, is the stem of a plant. Spinach and lettuce are leaves. Radishes and carrots are roots. Although squash and cucumber and tomatoes and pea pods are commonly thought as vegetables, they are all technically fruits because they contain the seeds. This wraps up this session. Please be sure to check your course online for all of the other materials and assignments to go along with this topic. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me or your instructor. We're here to help. Have a great time learning, and we'll see you next time.